Another episode of Madoka Magica. It's been a little bit since I watched the last one. More of a preface towards, if I start theorizing and talking about things that I don't remember. It's been like 2 weeks. But yeah, we had to catch up on some other stuff. So hopefully we go into this and we have a good time. Really enjoyed the first episode. Definitely left me intrigued about a bunch of things. It was stylistically something that was really fun, as I kind of expected going into it, but it definitely exceeded expectations on most parts. So I'm excited to hopefully learn, grow a little bit of the chemistry and stuff between the characters, and seeing the directions that we end up choosing to take on some of this stuff. It's going to be interesting. We have to make a decision now. Do we want to be a magical girl or not? So we have to decide. I assume we're going to accept that, but what comes with it, right? Like, are there requirements? Do we have to give something up? Is Cube like himself just the being that can like access like any part of us or like do whatever he wants if like we agree to this, or do we have like some sort of contract that has some like boundaries and things, or do we have to like give up like a part of ourselves or like information, or like what do we have to, like what do we do, what are the requirements, what are the deal, like what's involved, what are all the details to this, I think is probably what I'm more interested in, as opposed to just like, oh, do you want to do this, yes or no? Like I think we need to figure out a little bit more of we need to lay the groundwork a bit better. But I guess we'll see how that stuff kind of happens. I'm like, based on like early stuff that I do know, or like, because I don't know anything, but just based on like stuff that I've seen, I find it hard to believe that Madoka doesn't actually become one, right? Like it just, she will, right? I'm assuming. But the question for me is like, does Sayaka, because she was also asked to be one, so does she accept it as well, or does she not choose to, or does she like, what are we, I don't know. I don't know. I guess we will have to find out. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I feel like I'd like and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to stick around for the discussion on the comments of this episode of series. If you go on with episode 2 of Madoka Magica. Did she wake up again like it was another one? There's no way that keeps happening. There's no way. Yeah, fill us in what happened afterwards, because she clearly can't remember. I guess I can now watch and spoil myself if Sayaka decides to join. She'll be like it in the OP, right? You'd assume. There's so much focus on just her that like Sayaka hasn't like been here, so I don't know. I guess it doesn't spoil it. Well, I guess she's up there with them. I don't know. I don't remember it, so. You're just living with us now? Oh. Probably has the ability to pick and choose. I was just lurking at the school like that. Alright, let's backtrack a bit. Oh my god. You've been chosen. Yeah, I would. No, you should be asking, because I have questions. Yeah, thank you. This is what allowed you to transform. On top of being a magical girl? But like on top of it? Because that's already a wish in itself. Okay. Yeah, explain some stuff. You could have just wished for that. Like, why do we? Right, like. Okay, well, this isn't real. This is not real. This did. Of which, yeah. Oh. According to who, though? So us becoming one allows us to see it. Formless evil. It's not that crazy. I do it for my country, though. That's. Magical girl and wish, or die. Like a trial. Okay, see, I feel a little better because about like the way that they presented it, that it is as straightforward, just because they're giving them time to like properly make this decision as opposed to just forcing it on them and being like, you have to decide here and now. Yeah, you're good, you're good. You're not in the gang. Yeah, this is a trial run. I want to make sure that you fully understand what's all the good things about this. They're getting married. I leave for one day. I mean, yeah. What kind of story are you writing? Ah, she can be quick. That's crazy. Well, we'll see if she can see it. She said no reaction, so I'm assuming she's definitely not magical girl herself, right? But like, what is she? Thank you for being on the same page as me, guys. Oh, okay. But contract with different being, probably? Yeah, why? You'd assume. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. She was trying to avoid you becoming one. It's cool she can turn it into a ring there. I'm sure you would. I flex heavy with Sayaka. That's my girl so far. Aww. A dream come true. What a fucking building, dude. I do hope they have like some cool things that they ask for though, and it's not just like some bullshit like basic ass thing. How do they... How? I don't think so. I think you guys are the smart ones. They shouldn't? Maybe I'm on the wrong side of this, but I'm more with you. That I would gladly risk my life for? I don't think so. Okay, I guess. The people who have not... Okay, yeah. Alright, my bad. I'm seeing that. I'm here. She knows too. I'll punch your lights out, buddy. You do. Keep that in mind. What if it's different conditions? I want to know. I want to know. I do think she could do a much better job at convincing her and telling her why this is bad, but I get it. What a goof. Really wish you weren't, but... Hell no. My weapon. My drawings. What if they just give it to you though? What if you don't get to pick and choose it? It just comes with the transformation. A walking simulator with magical girls. Ooh, that looks fun. Plus, we probably wouldn't have been able to recruit y'all. Yeah, in before they flip it on you and mommy's the bad one. We're siding with the wrong guys. Cool. Such as bridges. Damn, that's dark as hell. Look up. Put out the mattress. No. Damn. Oh. They got logos and everything. Today we got backup. Today we are prepared. The magical bat. Can we each at least get a weapon? Like, what is this? Just following us, yeah. I guess this could be a test too to really see if she's trying to just do it for the purpose of competing, you know? Less than yesterday. She's so cool. I wonder if they all have like different vibes going for them on the inside. Ugh. Yeah, it's part of the job. You know what? And I believe her. Oh my god. Should really be loving our guns. I got no intention to lose in front of y'all. It would be a bad way to bring somebody into the job, right? Oh, that was cool. Thank you. Well done, mommy. Well done. What do we do with it? Do we sell it? Sometimes, okay. It's like a concealed form. I use it to power it? Oh, you ah.
これで消耗した私の魔力も元通り、あと一度くらいは使えるはずよ。あなたにあげるわ。明美穂村さん。あいつ。
Calm down, don't start throwing hands yet.
不服かしら。あなたの獲物よ。あなただけのものにすればいい。そう。それがあなたの答えね。
That's all you gotta say?
やっぱり感じ悪いやつ。仲良くできればいいのに。あれ、私は。
Where are my shoes?
やだ、私悪い夢を見てただけですよ。一見。
Somebody else has also been believing she's been having bad dreams.
叶えたい願い事とか、私には難しすぎてすぐには決められないけれど。でも人助けのために頑張るマミさんの姿はとても素敵で、こんな私でもあんな風に誰かの役に。
Why would I not take up the opportunity to do that, right?
って思ってしまうのでした。
Another episode in and more expansion on our lovely world with our magical girls and the different things about becoming one, the witches, a whole bunch of stuff. They expand on basically everything that was initially presented to kind of hook you within the first one and kind of wrap a lot of it up very neatly while still having like little things, of course, that we have to get into and discuss and figure out, and the characters themselves have things that they have to figure out. But I think it works well as like a two-parter, like introduction. If you're into it after this, you're good to keep going. If you're not, it might not be for you type of thing, right? Like, and I think it fits itself pretty nicely there, as opposed to just being like, we need 3 episodes, even though the 3-episode rule typically applies for most people still. I think it does a good job at like opening and kind of closing the initial like opening chapter of it, and then adventuring into possibly what's to come. We'll have to, I guess, see what ends up happening next episode. But interesting stuff, I think, proposed. The real thing I think I'm most intrigued in is it's clearly was written this way for a reason, but the lack of asking, like, I guess the questions maybe that I would more so want to ask when it comes to actually becoming a magical girl and the things that kind of come along with it. The position that we take as Kyubey and as Mommy here, and not disclosing everything that I think I really would like, but still giving you that glimpse of like, this can happen. This is the worst scenario, is the way that they almost present it. And if you're okay with that, we don't care about any of the other specifics, because then you get in no matter what. And we use a wish, and we use this thing that could rid all of your other problems and stuff as this powerful source almost to get you in, right? It's the thing that gets you in the door. It's the promotion, it's the discount, it's the deal that you get, the reason why you go out and you buy certain things, right? Certain products and actually like participate and do things is usually because there's something extra kind of attached to it. And that's what this is. You get all these cool benefits of what you're going to be able to do, but you have this really bad thing that's kind of attached to it. So what do we do to entice that deal even more? We give you anything that you desire. One thing, but anything almost that you could desire. And the real question I really have though is just specifics of the way that this works that isn't really asked by any of the characters or explained outside of that general statement almost, right? You can have anything you want, but also this is as bad as it gets. There's no real like, okay, do I have to be a magical girl for the remainder of my life? Is that a requirement? Am I constantly going to have to go up and go against and fight all these witches and do these things for eternity at this point? Does it affect me in any other sort of way physically? Are they like stuck like embodying this version of who they are at like the age and the physical form that they kind of are? They grow past that and continue to get older anyways. What's the deal with that? What is Kyubei's deal? Why do you have the ability to grant these wishes and do all these things? These are just a variety of questions almost that I would kind of be wondering and wanting to ask, because a lot of that is pretty important when it comes down to the other reasons that they give out, such as like essentially things, I guess in the simplest form of like other organizations almost and other people having the ability to create magical girls and do these things, which is where Homura comes from and what her kind of deal is, and then portraying it almost as she's only in this for her own kind of good, and it's a competition based thing and it's like a first come first serve thing. So like we're always at odds against each other. So she's just trying to prohibit more people from coming in the space and making it harder for her to continue onwards and do her job. But then my questions become, after you tell me that, there's a variety of things where I'm like, okay, but what is her issue with that? It's simply, okay, you can't eat good is usually the thing, right? Like it's like you're taking money out of somebody's pocket, but we don't end up seeing that because it's not like you get anything on like a currency based, and you would assume that they're doing these things out of the kindness and goodness of their heart, but none of that is explained either, right? It's more of, oh, here at the end, we'll just drop this on you and be like, you see all this black stuff that gets kind of around your little soul crystal that you have? Well, when you defeat these things, that goes away. So it's like, okay, does that only come when the witches are present, right? When the witches are here, did they just cloud it for each time that they kind of go against you? So you have to just defeat them, and if you get too clouded, what actually happens to you? What are the results of that? Can you no longer transform? Do you lose your abilities? Do you lose your life? What comes with it? There's a lot of things that I would like to kind of know there. Also, is that why we're constantly fighting, right? Does this happen regardless if our encounters with them? If we don't have that, are we going to just get clouded like this and we have like it's like almost like we're on a time limit and we have to constantly like refresh our energy and our health? It's like a hunger that we kind of have, and that's what the same thing with our soul here, and by feeding it is a way of defeating these witches and doing this. So if we get to an end there and we don't do that, like what happens? Lots of questions there, because it's like then you're essentially trapping somebody for eternity at that point. But then it would also make sense why somebody like Homer doesn't want the other people to be involved, because she would clearly have some sort of attachment or thing to be like, okay, well, this is a negative towards my own living and life. I need to get you kind of out of here. So I could completely could understand that. But it doesn't seem as simple as that. It doesn't seem like that's the case. It doesn't seem like that would be like, if I was her, and this was like what I was saying earlier in the episode, where I have like things that I would personally want to be like explaining to Madoka and explaining to Sayaka about what I'm doing, like what my intention is, why I don't want you to become one of these, why I'm against any of this. Like I wouldn't just drop the single line of dialogue that I did before and then just leave it at that. And I guess we could just play simply into she struggles to like properly communicate and do these things with like other people, sure. But if I really had like these big issues and these things, like if I had to be like, dude, this affect, like I literally can't live and eat if I do this, you're good regardless, like, and explain that to her, I think they would be a little bit more understanding of the scenario that you're kind of in, and wouldn't really want that. Or simply explaining why exactly you don't want this person to do it, But once again, we don't get that. I mean, we could play suspect on the first episode of like future events and going back in the past and trying to alter the things that actually come about and occur. And if we are going to feed more into that, well, it doesn't become more relevant, I guess, this episode. But if we do want to feed more into that, a valid reason enough, I guess, for why she doesn't explain or say any of that is because if she does, it alters the things that happen. And it's better to have like a track record of, I know this is going down, I know what's going to happen, like at each step kind of along the way here, that makes me be able to not have to go through that, I guess. It makes me not have to like wonder where we're headed next because you altered what's actually going to occur. But I don't buy that or believe that, because in the first episode she was asked, Madoka that is, to be a magical girl, so she hadn't accepted it up to that point and fully done this. So if she's going to do it at an earlier point here, I don't know. Also, you're preventing her from doing it, I guess, so that you can get to that point. But if things have already altered from there, everything's already kind of messed up from then. So then you could fully explain the future and stuff, I guess. So I don't know. There's little things there, but it's just us not really knowing, I guess, enough about the characters and really what her intention and everything really is. It's basically, I guess, in its simplest form, a situation that feels too good to be true, right? Everything that they present almost seems too ideal that it really makes me question everything that's being presented to us. Every time that you're like, oh, it's as cut and dry as here, we're good people, we're doing this and fighting the bad, the curses, right? And that's as simple as that. It makes me really question and makes me really wonder why exactly we have to utilize something like a wish to force people into doing this, and instead of just recruiting and finding the people who want to do these things out of the goodness of their heart, it's like you're dangling something in front of them and you're forcing it on them. The conversation that we get later throughout the episode where we have everyone kind of questioning and wondering, have we lived like kind of this sheltered or pampered life in some sort of way, because there's plenty of people who probably have to go through and live through having like these dark, like really bad times, you know, whether they're extremely ill or people around them are, or things are just bad financially or whatever it is. They would easily give up a part of themselves or a piece of whatever, like that risk of their life to be able to change that and completely flip around their life entirely. Would make a lot of sense. Is like, we're going to dangle this thing in front of you and kind of utilize that and manipulate you almost into wanting to come forward and do this thing. But that shouldn't have to be the case, right? You should be able to just offer this to that person and they should want to do it out of the goodness of their heart. So it's like, why do we have to utilize and do something along those lines is also where I start wondering and questioning a lot, because it really just gets me wondering. It doesn't seem as simple as they're kind of making it out to be. We're the good people, we're going against and fighting off the bad people. But it's like, all right, why? How did all this come from? Clearly we have a being in Kyubey as somebody who has the ability to create and force or make people into these magical girls. And then we talk about how the curses are the witches are things that are actually formed through curses. So if that's the case, what is actually controlling and forming of the witches and forcing them into being cursed, right? And forcing these things in these beings? Or do I have a complete misunderstanding of that? I might have a misunderstanding of that now that I think about it. Or are we saying that the witches themselves are the bad things and they're cursing people? But I thought, I'll go back and see, I guess, the line. I thought that they said that the witches themselves are like the manifestations of what these curses are. I don't know. I'll see when we go back in. I love just forcing us to wake up in a dream again. Unreal. Conversation with the mom about what you would do if you had the opportunity to make any wish that you kind of want come true, what she would do. And instead of her just simply being like, yeah, I'm going to take the top job and do all this, it's like, oh, I'll just get rid of my coworkers and the people that are in my wife first. It's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do that instead. Soul Gem is the identifying factor of what exactly a magical girl is. And then we start questioning what exactly we want and what would be a wish that is worthy of this. It is a good thing to really wonder, and they start questioning as we get into it later, where they're like, everybody else just usually picks on things quick and they're just like, oh, I instantly knew exactly what I want, whereas nobody else, or whereas us here seem to struggle with it. And like I said before, we do utilize well, maybe we're just in a good enough spot and content enough with the things that we have that we don't really value or things as much maybe as other people do. So we might not be prime candidates, I guess, for this. But I'm kind of in the same shoes as them, and maybe it's also due to positioning and stuff that I'm at. but it's just like, what exactly would I value my life versus this other thing that I could make come true? Like, what is the odds, you know, between each of them? Like, well, how risky are we talking with me actually risking my life to actually obtain these things? And would I take a gamble on that? I don't know if there's how much or what exactly it is that would push me to the limit to be like, yeah, I'm down to do this when I could just realistically keep living as I am. I'm not exactly certain, but they do talk about how people are so quick to make those decisions, which is a little bit weird too. Like, why they just know instantly what they want, because you'd assume, because that just goes back to what I said before, where it feels like we're essentially taking people who are at like this loss and are struggling greatly, and we're forcing them into this instead. Okay, so witches are born from curses, so that's what they are, but who exactly is going out of their way and forcing the curse on the witch to be there? So then, yeah, the original thing that I was thinking. So there's another entity out there that we have to kind of identify, similar to what a Cube actually is for us and as magical girls who can grant wishes and can form the magical girls, right? Magical girls are born from wishes, right? But then there's this being that can force them into contract and allow that. So what is causing this to happen? Unless curses are just this existence without an actual being that kind of heads them and oversees it, but I would struggle to believe that. Can't be seen by normal humans, eats away at you from the inside, right? So it's the mark and everything that we get to see later. Also, we don't ask mommy what she ended up wishing for to force her to become one, which I feel like would be also another important thing to figure out. I at least like that they are giving you the room to step back and be like, here you go, figure out what you want to do. But yeah, it's a little, I don't know. We go to school, nobody can see him, which is really funny. I like the friend getting a little all over the place about the fact that there's something going on between them because she ended up leaving at one point. Really funny. Her running away every time too. The communication between the heads is pretty sick. Really think that's awesome. I'm excited to continue to see them do that. Yeah, wouldn't she just be good to be able to go out of her way and fight witches? Why does she have a problem with it? Well, she doesn't want others because of competition and stuff, but it's like, who the fuck cares about competition if we're all good people at the end of the day and we're just trying to stop evil? So it's not as simple as we're trying to portray it to be. I love Sayako so much. She's so fun. She does anything, I'll punch her like pretty good. Really cute too, of her getting so excited and drawing her own outfits and figuring out what she wants to be. And I do wonder if like that's just you envision what you want and it just comes to life, or if she actually has to like purchase these things, or she has to like draw up a design or whatever it is. We continuously struggle and don't know exactly what we want to get. I'm assuming this is just her envisioning somebody, not actually herself or somebody that she knows, but her envisioning of somebody else like in a state that they would find themselves in and what they would give up to be able to kind of be one of these and not, you know, their life not matter maybe as much or be as much of a risk that they really feel like. Just the way that they value things entirely different. Also, I guess my wording or the wording for this entire sequence is a little off to me, like a little weird. Because it's just like, oh, I intended to make you not form a contract or do this. But as far as I'm aware, we haven't done it because we haven't actually become one, because we have to make the wish for that to happen. And instead, we're just kind of aligning with them and like feeling it out and seeing everything and getting a general gist of it. But she's like, it's too late now, I guess, to stop you from that, even though we haven't fully made up our mind. It almost seems like, or maybe we have, but we just haven't found the wish. So there still is ways that we can stop her, but we're just choosing to not. I don't know. Yeah, I still remember what you told me. All right, then I got nothing else to talk to you about. It's just like, yeah, I would probably give you a little bit more info if I really needed you to not do this. What wish did you make? And she walks away as if she has complete anger with it. I wonder too. I don't actually know what her wish would be if she has one, because what happens if it's not what they tell us? What happens if her own ability and what she actually becomes isn't classified as a magical girl the same as ours? But even if it is, what happens if there's a different way and it's not actually formed through wishes and we're just being lied to this entire time and there's something else? Or maybe it's just something really personal that she doesn't want to tell people, or she doesn't feel the need to actually go out of her way and do that either. I don't know. Of course, going off of your friends together. We have other things to do and her get all upset and running away too. Bringing out the bat's great and her getting excited. Follow it around, find the traces of it. Really sick looking bridge. Where might the witch be? But we see the curses that the witch themselves have kind of laid in the types of people that they typically prey on and the states that they end up finding themselves in when they do it. And it drives this girl to the point where she ends up having to unconsciously, I'd assume, right? She's not fully aware of probably what's going on here, attempting suicide, which gets prevented, luckily, by us showing up rightly on time through following this until we enter in the portal and we have to go up against it. The designs are so sick for this. It still is. It's just the state that they kind of put them in, the art style and everything being so different, I think meshes itself really well and allows you to fully understand of the state that, like, the place that we're in, and that it's not like this actual reality state either. And I think it does a good job at the two, like, contrasting against each other. It's not like scary, I wouldn't say. It's just like really creepy and trippy. So I can definitely see being completely lost here. And then we utilize the next couple minutes to really make Mommy look like a badass, where she's pulling out her weapons from fucking everything, just making up this huge gun and doing everything. It's pretty sick, and she does a great job at trying to stand out a little bit. We find out this is something seed. I don't remember what they called it. Grief seed. We can use the grief seed to basically take this off of it, and they get contained into whatever this actually is. And apparently, I guess we can probably break them open and reuse them based on the words that she uses towards Homura later. Or maybe that's not what she said. Maybe it's just we can utilize that to clear off our own thing. And it could be used maybe more than once sometimes. I don't know. So the magic that we use when we're going against it is used as a thing of depletion. Like, it depletes your magic, and through that is where those black spots almost come from, like tainting it, and then it goes away and kind of cleanses it afterwards and replenishes what you have. Should be able to use it one more time. Once again, I don't know if that just means to replenish yourself, or if she can, like, crack it open to be able to fight this thing again and actually then obtain another one to be able to do it. She walks away. I love Sayako once again getting angry about it. Assure the girl that everything is okay. Heart into saving everybody is truly amazing. If I can just help other people, that'd be great. It's interesting. Lots of stuff, I think, presented that I have lots of questions and stuff on, and it's not to, like, try and poke holes and, like, pick at and be angry or anything in any sort of way with the story that we're telling, but it's more of to present, I guess, the ideas of my uncertainty towards whether I can kind of trust certain individuals that we're meeting or parties involved, I guess, either. And also it makes sense, though, entirely, as you are a bunch of groups of these young girls basically coming to these decisions that are potentially life-altering entirely, to not fully grasp and be able to see everything from every angle and ask questions to everybody that are, like, properly fitting each time and really get the responses or answers that you need and ensure that you're kind of protected and okay, instead just really go with the flow. So it definitely makes sense, and it works way better as well as, like, a narrative decision to just keep them almost in the dark, so that if you do want to, like, spin it, like, twist on them and just have, like, this crazy spin at some point where you're like, haha, actually we're the bad people all along, or whatever you ended up doing, it works itself out to be pretty well because they didn't go in and question it enough, and they just trusted you enough at surface level without really entertaining the idea that any of this stuff might not be as it seems. And I could be taking it a direction that it's not, right? It entirely could just be as it's seen, and I'm looking way too far into it. But I don't know. These are just the questions I would wonder if I was in a similar situation to them. So I'm just almost presenting that outward here. Very fun, and I'm excited to see really what we get into further, to see what they're going to come up with for wishes and stuff for them to do. And I wonder if that's going to be something that we do actually decide, or if it's going to take us, like, many and many of episodes to get to that point. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, though. If you liked it all, to like and subscribe. Even lots may feel free to check out the videos and channel. It comes with this series up after episode 3 very soon. I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.